Ben & Jerry's story is worth exploring, not because it makes extraordinary ice cream, not because it was extraordinary in leading battles for liberal causes, not because it champions the cause of linked prosperity. Ben & Jerry's story is worth exploring because it faced many of the challenges that any organization faces. Lack of strong leadership, competitors whose action reduced its market share, acquisition by a larger organization with a mission statement very different that tried to assimilate Ben & Jerry's into its own way of doing business. What makes Ben & Jerry's worth investigating is it found a way to succeed through its mistakes and struggles. When we study Ben & Jerry's, we see that the challenge of balancing a social mission with the economic realities of staying in business make Ben & Jerry's story compelling. Both Ben and Jerry declined to be interviewed for this book. They said they didn't want to relive the past. Edmiston didn't blame them. He said, "If I had faced as many annoying questions about uncomfortable topics as they have, I probably wouldn't want to talk to me either." This presentation is based on Edmiston's Ice Cream Social, The Struggle for the Soul of Ben & Jerry's. Ben & Jerry's three-part mission began from Ben Cohen's questions and beliefs. What would the world look like if businesses got serious about pursuing social and environmental justice? What if a business was directed towards several equally important goals, with profit being only one of them? What would happen if social justice activists controlled the board of directors of a large global enterprise? Could that work? Ben believed that businesses are the most powerful institutions in the world, and they could become the world's most powerful forces for social change. He also believed that business could be forces for progressive social change as well as machines for making money. Several things came out of Ben's musings. One was linked prosperity. That is one big idea that the company called linked prosperity. As the company prospered, it said, all employees, suppliers, customers, and other living things that had contributed to its success should prosper as well. As the social mission evolved over the next 25 years, Ben & Jerry's would struggle to integrate its financial and social bottom lines and to create synergy by combining profit-making with community building. Maintaining this creative tension was, and still is, as of 2014, the most challenging aspect of managing Ben & Jerry's, and it's also what makes the company different. Linking the company's prosperity to employees means not just paying a living wage, but guaranteeing a dignified life. Linking it to farmers, processors, and suppliers means eliminating poverty from our supply chain. A statement by the CEO of Ben & Jerry's. Linking prosperity to customers means measuring the social mission and making sure it grows faster than sales. These attitudes led Ben & Jerry's to establish its three-part mission, which is to make the world's best ice cream, also to pursue progressive social change. Social changes depend on transparency, says Jeff Furman. The movements against the Vietnam War and for civil rights took off when pictures showed people what war and injustice look like. Once people understand what is actually happening, the grassroots movements can start. The best way for us to encourage systemic change is to engage with the public about these issues and let them make up their own mind. The third part of the mission is to provide fair compensation to employees and shareholders alike through linked prosperity and the double bottom line. This three-part mission would play a part in the negotiated sale to Unilever. The founders and the board accepted Unilever's offer only after negotiating a detailed agreement that guaranteed them a continuing role in the company and gave them legally enforceable powers. Part of the social audit for Ben & Jerry's included the double bottom line, where they considered both the financial and the social impact of an action. Ben & Jerry's became a benefit corporation, which required them to create a general benefit for society while also providing returns to its shareholders. Its board of directors must consider how its actions affect their employees, community, and environment, as well as the bottom line, and they must publish audited reports of their social and environmental performance. So what led to the Unilever buyout? St. Albans factory was intended to help Ben & Jerry's expand their operations, but the plant took a year longer to open than planned, and it cost almost triple what was originally budgeted. Low employee morale inside the company was due to the lack of strong leadership. There were distribution issues. Since the early days, Ben & Jerry's had outsourced its distribution to a network of companies. Over time, Dreyer's became the #1 distributor. The purchase of Dreyer's by Nestle resulted in the fact that the only viable distributor had become Ben & Jerry's arch rival. There was division in the board of directors. Looking back, Jeff Furman states, "The enduring division on the board was a big reason why we missed opportunities and ignored obvious warning signs. We kept arguing about the purpose of the company until the company slipped right out of our hands." Challenges with Unilever were related to the fact that the man who brokered the deal with Ben & Jerry's left right after that was signed. The cause-related activities of multinational corporations are usually a branch of the marketing department to be cut when times get tight. The employees of Ben & Jerry's still wanted the company to pursue linked prosperities, and the board did too, but the two groups were not working together anymore, and the new owners did not understand the spirit that made their acquisition so valuable. The results was stalemate, infighting, and drift, and a general lack of trust. Another challenge was that Unilever had an ice cream headquarters in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Ben & Jerry's CEO reported to Green Bay as well as to the board of directors of Ben & Jerry's. Also, there was a change in the formula for the Ben & Jerry's ice cream without the board's knowledge and approval. This changed the quality of the products, and the customers noticed the difference. The sales agreement played an important part in coming together. The profit advocates and the social mission advocates came back to the table and started to play by the rules of the sales agreements. Finally, a mature working relationship began. When that happened, the company got its heart back. If things go as planned, the United States will account for less than half of Ben & Jerry's revenues by 2020. Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield probably won't ever be entirely comfortable around Unilever for two reasons. One is that the loss of their company was so personal and painful. The other is that they have chosen a different path. CEO Joe Steen reflects, "The stars are aligned. Ben, Jerry, and Jeff are approaching things with a lot more maturity. Unilever is taking its corporate social responsibility seriously, and I think business in general is at a tipping point. The belief that all a company must do is get maximum short-term profits for shareholders has come to an end. The mainstream is now discovering that. It's an important moment for capitalism. I think that Unilever wants us to lead them in that way, and that is why the three-part mission is fundamental to how we stay on course. If your sole mission is shareholder wealth, the negative side effects of your business may cancel out the good you do." Jeff Furman reflects, "I'm proud when people say that Ben & Jerry's is a pioneer of socially responsible business, and when we do things to encourage a new generation of social entrepreneurs. My goal as chair of the board is simple. I want to make sure all the elements of our sales agreements are being carried out, and I want to secure as best I can the legacy of Ben & Jerry's by ensuring that its social mission lives on."